pleasure to be speaking with you. What does it feel like to have that medal, to be back from Tokyo and all that?
It's amazing to hold this medal and be home. I still haven't shown my family yet, so I'm really excited to show my husband and my mom and my dad this medal and have them hold it because they've just been with me through so much up and down that it's really special to have this medal and be able to hold it and know that I contributed to Team USA's success.
Right. You had an extra year of preparation besides what you had been slotting for after Rio. How did you use that time?
That extra year, because of the pandemic, was very challenging. One of the things I did is I got into a very heavy meditation practice. I think, like most of us, we got a little stressed out during the pandemic and we couldn't do our normal day-to-day training or lives. And so I got into meditation, and I really think that contributed to winning this medal.
I would have to agree on that one. Is this medal your proudest accomplishment to date, or is the title of the most decorated female wrestler of all time, is that better for you?
I'm very proud to hold this medal, but my world championships are so special. I have 5 of these gold medals where I got to stand on the top of the podium and represent Team USA and hear our national anthem. And it's really, really special for me to know that I was the best in the world, not just once, not just twice, but the consistency of my career. I'm now an 8-time world and Olympic medalist. And it just feels really gratifying to know that I had that longevity in such a challenging sport.
Real question here. Where do those medals go? Like, of course, you're going to be showing them off for all the press that you're doing. And you mentioned showing them to your family, but do they go next to the mantle by the door? Where do you put medals like that?
Yeah, pretty close. We get actually belts for world championships too. So they're these like massive things that we kind of have to find storage for. But it's pretty cool to have this entire trophy room of stuff that you win. And it's cool to show people when they come over and have little kids just be inspired by some of the hardware that we bring home.
Got it. As I mentioned before, there was time between Rio and then these Olympics right here, an extra year. You mentioned meditation being a great guiding force, but what happens with Olympians is you have the Olympics, you do all the press, everyone sees you, and then you train ultimately for the next big outing, the next competition per se. But where does your time usually go between big competitions? Do you know, for example, what life is like 2 years from now?
I have a lot of decisions to make, and that's one of the reasons I'm so grateful right now is I have the opportunity to go and win more medals like at a world championship or maybe Paris 2024. But I also have dedicated my time and energy to making sure that my personal life's in order. I'm married and my husband and I are talking about starting a family. I've committed to my education goals. I have my undergrad and my master's through DeVry University, which is the official education partner of Team USA. And I just know that no matter what I choose, I'm prepared, not just as a wrestler, but as a human being to reach my full human and athletic potential.
Right. This is kind of a backwards question here, but what exactly got you into amateur wrestling in the first place?
So I started wrestling when I was 6 years old. My dad got me into it, and it was just kind of something fun that I wanted to do. My dad had 4 daughters, and I don't think he wanted to do dance or kind of some of the frillier sports that he didn't really know. And he knew and loved wrestling. And so he got me into the sport, and my mom's family was really into wrestling. And so here I am 20 years later, still wrestling and being able to travel the world and get my education and pursue these amazing goals just through a sport that I started for fun.
Was your dad also a fan of professional wrestling, or is that just apples and oranges, big divergent thing there?
Yeah, they're very different. I actually never really experienced the WWE professional wrestling. And it's funny because I actually am a professional wrestler. I get paid
Yes.
to wrestle. So we are not amateur wrestlers. So when people say pro wrestling, I'm like, what are you talking about? You're talking about the thing where people hit each other with chairs. And I know that I call that entertainment wrestling, which is funny, right, because that's not what the world knows it as. Yeah, I do combat sports.
In the case of sports entertainment, which is another alias for professional wrestling, we have seen a number of elite Olympians like Kurt Angle, Chad Gable. I forget what his real life name is. we've seen them find success in professional wrestling. As a result of your success, have you had scouts from sports entertainment sniff around for you?
Yes, I actually did a tryout in 2016 after the last Olympics and just decided that it wasn't the path I wanted to take. I really think there are so many opportunities, whether you want to get into MMA or professional, entertainment wrestling, and just kind of really play up the theatrics of the entertainment side of wrestling. There's so many great things about each of those areas, and Olympic sports just holds a very special place in my heart. I really think that there's a push for just equality for women and opportunities for women, and just being able to really speak on a platform about how keeping women in sports and allowing them to see themselves as more than just a couple-year college soccer player, but dreams beyond that of having education and having Olympic medals and having big dreams is very important.
And another amazing thing about you, besides all these accolades, you have your own shoe. I believe you still have your own shoe on the market. Is that correct?
It's no longer on the market, but I did. Yes, Asics was able to create a shoe for me, and hopefully we do it again. It was an official signature line of an Adeline Gray wrestling shoe, and I still wear it. And you can buy it on the secondary market. But hopefully one day we have another Adeline Gray shoe, and just creating opportunities for women to feel seen in a sport that they in the past haven't felt overly welcomed into, and that's changing. And I think that seeing companies invest in women like myself is just showing that this world is ready for women to be in combat sports. It's ready for women to be in individual sports. Whatever opportunities are out there for young boys are now available to young women, and they just have to be brave enough to step out there and choose to dream and work towards those hard goals.
Well said. And my last question before I let you go, what music do you like to train to when you have to get really serious and competitive?
I don't have the ear for music, so I let my teammates do all of that for me. So I'm so thankful that I have a group of women who not only are passionate about wrestling, but about music and about ways to kind of tap into that. And there's so many Team USA athletes. We have 215 athletes that have graduated from DeVry, and it's been special to kind of tap into some of those resources. And Tanya McFadden is competing in the Paralympics coming up in a few weeks, and there's some amazing role models that I've been able to be inspired by. So I really just encourage everyone listening to check out some of these Team USA athletes. Follow me at Adeline Gray through this amazing journey that I'm on. And if you have any questions about how to kind of add, education into your lives, visit devry.edu.
Paltrocast.